Would you please introduce yourself to us?
Yes, my name is Michael Jones. I live in Sunnyvale. I've lived quite a bit all over the country.
My name is Jimmy Hernandez. I've lived in Sunnyvale since 2020.
Hi, I'm Glenda DeRico. My husband is retired Lieutenant Commander Joe DeRico, and we are a military family. His father was in the military, my father was in the military, so we are very familiar with being deployed and sacrificing.
My name is Barbara Jones, and I live in Sunnyvale, Texas.
Yeah, my name is Keith Darwin. I live here in Sunnyvale with my family. I moved here in 2004.
Why did you decide to enlist?
I was about to be drafted. I was going to college in my first semester, and I was in a program that I thought was going to keep me from being drafted. Well, the government changed the criteria, and all of a sudden as I was explaining, the 1A, which was the top of the line to be drafted, my status 2S got changed to 1A, and I knew I was about to be drafted. So I went down to the Air Force, a recruiter, took the test there, did pretty well on that and everything. And about 3 weeks later, he called me and he said, well, it was on a Saturday afternoon, said, I've got a slot for you if you're ready to go. And I said, sure, because I knew I was on my way to the Army. And he said, I said, well, okay, good. When do I leave? And he said, tomorrow morning. And I'm going, wait a minute, I don't have time to say bye to my parents or my friends or anybody. And I said, but he said, well, it's the only thing you have. He said, you might have something 2 or 3 months later. And I said, well, I'd probably be gone by that time. So I said, okay, I'll take it. So very next morning, I went to the airport and flew to Lackland Air Force Base down in San Antonio and did my basic training there. And then went to San Angelo to a little small Air Force base up there called Goodfellow Air Force Base.
One day there was a career day at school, and I went to the plumbers, went to the electricians, did all that cool stuff. But they had the Army, Air Force, and the Navy, and this is in the gymnasium. So the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy were on one side. But then you see this one recruiter over here by himself, and it was the Marines, and he was just standing over there with one of his privates that just got out of boot camp. So I'm looking and I'm like, man, everybody, you see everybody over there, but nobody was at the Marine Corps booth. So I went to the Marine Corps booth and I was like, man, I don't want to go to school no more. What do you guys have to offer? I'm looking to do something different. And I gave him my information. Next thing you know, he called me back a day later, man, and we just got the process started.
My husband started his career in the Army right after he got out of high school. And then he finished up his career in the Navy, which is where he retired as Lieutenant Commander.
My youngest son was in the United States Navy for 6 years on a guided missile destroyer called the Arleigh Burke. It is an actual Arleigh Burke class destroyer. And he was in the North Atlantic, and he was also part of the invasion of Baghdad.
I had an older brother in Vietnam, and so I was in the Vietnam area. So that I thought, okay, I want to be like my brother. I think everybody wants to be like their big brother, so that kind of inspired me. But I went in, I enlisted for Vietnam. By the time I got in, they started cutting the boys back. But I ended up going and spending time in Germany, and it was really good for me. It had a chance for me to grow up. So good time for me. I would recommend anybody at 18 years old that didn't have the wherewithal, doesn't know where they want to go. It's a good opportunity to spend a couple years. I think it's good for you. It gives you a good head start in life.
How do you feel your service represented the value of family?
The Marine Corps is all about mission objective. Along the way, while getting that mission done, you're around these group of people, these other young men and women that have the same mind and the same objective as you. It's supposed to be we are the most professional. We are elite, even from our most basic servicemen. In the Marine Corps, we establish leadership on the smallest levels. That way, whenever they continue to grow, the leadership grows with them. With that being said, with that type of professionalism, you never expect to really bond with anybody because, you know, it's always so professional. But then when it comes to really doing the job, when it comes to really getting the mission done, you depend on the people around you. And out of that dependence, man, you start to fall in love with them. Like, okay, cool, this guy is freaking good at this job. Man, she's freaking good to go at this job. Then through the hard work and through the time you spend with each other, it becomes a brotherhood, a sisterhood of camaraderie. You know, like, man, Sanchez coming in tomorrow, like, okay, Sanchez good to go. But then when you take that into war, when you take that into actual conflicts, then it's just like, okay, this person really has my back. I'm alive because of him. I'm alive because of the training, you know, and that sense of value is greater than anything. I miss my brothers more than I miss my time in service. Like, for real, I cannot explain that. It's like, what do you miss about the military? I miss my friends. I really, really do, because that sense of bond that we have, man, it can't be explained by the people that I grew up with. They don't understand what it is to live and die by that person behind you. Y'all dig that? So, you know, man, that's the cool thing about it. And we have a really awesome group chat, and we only get to see each other like once every 2 or 3 years. But when we do, man, it's like we never missed a beat. Seriously, I can't explain it. It's just the most uncanny thing ever. It's like we've never missed a beat. So from that professionalism grew camaraderie, which grew a brotherhood that's gonna last with us forever. It's really simplified. It's really a band of brothers.
The value of service.
He takes that very much to heart when he was in the military and also in his life after the military. He did learn that in the military. You learn things like that in the military.
How do you feel as though your loved one exemplified the value of dedication?
My husband exemplified the value of dedication by being there for his patients, making sure he had a positive attitude and demeanor when he was treating his patients and other soldiers, and making sure they were okay with what was going on. And first and foremost, that was his thing, was just making sure he was there on time when he needed to be, 24/7.
Well, you know, I wasn't a war veteran. I'm sure if I was a war veteran, it would probably be a lot different, but I did spend most of my time in Germany with a bunch of guys my age, and we just something about just serving in the military made you proud. And so that's kind of what I got out of the deal, was just opportunity to serve. I mean, if you think about all the guys that didn't come home, or the guys that did come home were disabled, I was pretty fortunate to be in a situation where I could come home.
How do you feel as though your service exemplified the value of honor?
You swear an oath that you have for the rest of your life. You do your oath sign when you sign up in the military, and you're expected to live by that oath till you die. And I think it makes you, it gives you something that you're joined in with, you're a part of. It's a big job being in the military. You've got a lot of things on your shoulders and everything, and most of you at very young ages. It has its bad ways too. There's a lot of times that you go, well, why am I here? But there are a lot of things that you're taught, even in basic training, that stays with you up to I'm in my 70s now. It teaches you to be neat and take care of things, and it gives you a way of thinking logically, I guess you could say. So it did for me anyway. So.